What's going on, everybody? Doing a little rundown. Been riding my bike back and forth to my out-of-town gigs here, and I ride at nighttime as early as 6 o'clock at night and as late as midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm up about 6,500 foot elevation. I go up to probably about maybe in that 65, 7,000 range, and then kind of drop back down, but I'm going through the mountain range. A lot of trees, a lot of forest, a lot of canyons, things like that, and I'm having some real cold spells. I'm hitting, between 20 to 24 degrees is probably the coldest, going 65, 70 miles an hour down the highway with the Tenere 700. I don't have heated grips in this bike, and I just have these little plastic shields they come with no extensions or of any form. Haven't really got to that level. Never really had a problem with my hands in the past with the cold. I do have some health issues where I get neuropathy in my fingers and my toes. So if you're not familiar with that, that's kind of a nerve issue to where your nerve endings kind of don't respond like they used to from health issues. And so you can have circulation issues as well. So probably because of that, I'm more sensitive this year than I ever have been as far as commuting. Already kind of resurrected some of the health issues, but some of the neuropathy can stay with you once you have nerve damage. Sometimes it's unreversible. So anyway, that's a little caveat there. It may not affect everyone, but I'm saying so I might be more sensitive than others. I've never needed heated gear in the past. The biggest I've ever done with my climb gear, this is the Carlsbad. That's some of the what the hell, Dakar. Normally I use Badlands gear. This year I opted for the Carlsbad because I wanted a little bit more movability, and the Badlands just felt like a little bit more robust than I wanted. I wasn't super pumped on some of the colorways. I just wanted something simple, black and gray. Wanted a little bit more gray, but this is pretty much predominantly black in this year's Carlsbad. But this is very similar to some of the older Badlands I used to wear, so it's a little lighter weight version basically. But the most I've ever done in the past is I ran this hot wire vest. It's a heated vest. I always used to pick up my buddies that wore heated gear, calling them wussies and stuff like that. And then I realized when I lived up in the mountains in Southern California and I'd ride with snow on the ground, that heated vest is a game changer. Whether you're on a cruiser, an adventure bike, dual sport, whatever it may be, commuter, sport bike, just nice to have your core warm. Once your core is all warm, depending on how you regulate your temperature, that's enough for me to normally stay pretty warm. So that's a brand called Hot Wire. No affiliation. I bought this years ago. I probably had this for 6 years, 7 years now. It's an XL. Fits a little snug and designed to do so. I'm about a 200-pound guy, 6 foot tall, athletic build. On the thinner of athletic build size, but yeah, an XL fits me good. Doesn't have these stretch patterns on here. I probably could fit into a large these days, but I bought this when I was a little bit larger, about 230 pounds, and it's stretched pretty tight then. Now it's a little bit more cozy. I could probably get away with a large, like I said, but that's an XL. So getting back to it, that's all I've ever used in the past. Nowadays, like I said, having some issues with my fingers, I opted to jump on Amazon. I was going to buy some expensive gloves from Held or these other companies you see on Revzilla or Rocky Mountain MC, and I thought, you know what, a lot of these gloves only heat in the back of the hand, maybe some in the palm. I wasn't seeing a lot of gloves that indicated they heated up into the fingertips, and I was reading a lot of reviews, and for that 200 to 350, even up to 450, $500 range, that $200 to $250 range is what I was comfortable spending, and no one had anything that really gave me positive feedback on the reviews or longevity for that price. So I went the other direction. I went on Amazon and thought, you know what, I'm looking for some heated gloves and just try some inexpensive ones that have better claims and just see if I get lucky. So this is just the unboxing so far. I have no information on these gloves. I will keep you guys updated after tonight's ride. Getting ready to saddle up on the bike here in a minute. Do about 2 hours and 15 minutes through the forest. And we'll hit temperatures around 20 degrees at times, going 70 miles an hour or thereabouts. Of course, I would never exceed the speed limit. Everyone knows that. But anyway, maybe I'll catch myself off guard. But this is a Tourgo brand, and I just read a lot about it. Comes with a little operating manual. The packaging is really nice, actually. And what caught me a little off guard was for the price point. These were a $40 glove, 40 or 50 bucks. I'll have to verify that when my review. I'll check what I spent on these things. I think they were literally like 40 bucks. So I'm not expecting a lot for that. No miracle, so I won't be sadly, broken up if that doesn't do what it's supposed to do. But like I said, a lot of the higher end offerings were only offering warmth through the top of your hand, and I'm experiencing a lot of issues in my fingertips, specifically from my here down. My hands aren't bad, otherwise I would just go with some heated grips. And I've had heated grips in the past. Once again, I thought those were for sissies also until I had some and realized they were amazing. So I may get some heated grips on this Yamaha Tenere 700 down the road. But as of right now, I'm more concerned with my fingertips. And as you can see in the indicator on this illustration here, it indicates that the wires go all the way down to your tips and come back, including the thumb, and then also do the top of the hand. So we should be in pretty good prospects there. There's the information on here. It's got an automatic sensor activation, whatever that means. Maximum protect against impact and abrasion, a little carbon fiber on the knuckles. I'll show you in the glove. It is goat leather on the palm and on the top of the hand, mixed with a polyester. And you got it has touchscreen capabilities with your phone, I think, which I probably will never do because I'm just not that tech savvy. This is about as far as I go as recording off my phone. And that's about the end of it. No editing, no nothing, no music, no cutaways, no celebrity endorsements, no cameos. So it's got 3 amps thin slit inside the insulation. And like I said, the packaging is really nice. It comes with 2 battery packs. And here's your glove. So the glove has a carbon fiber knuckle. I don't really like these on most gloves because if they are a tight glove, they might pinch into your hands, but this is a loose and padded glove, so it doesn't really matter. At this point, it's more for aesthetics. And I guess if you did go down, this would have an impact protection on your knuckles as well as the goat leather on the palm and on the top and on the fingertips. I'm not really sure what these are. I didn't check. Maybe they're reflective. I'm not really sure if it's just something for styling. It does have a nice gauntlet cuff on here. It's got pretty thick insulation. I mean, thick enough. It's kind of a snow glove kind of a vibe. Reminds me of some of my Climb snow gloves I have, or even the ones that are designed with the grip technology for motorcycle riding and whatnot. I'm curious how much wind's going to blow through these. I've been using the Climb wind stoppers recently. A very thin glove, even the Windstopper Pro, but it does keep most of the wind down from getting through. The whole point of the wind stopper material. But over time, you just get so cold driving through that kind of temperatures that, you know, it does eventually kind of permeate through, and it's been freezing my fingers. So Tourgo is a brand. You have 3 different levels of heat on here. You hold the button down for 3 seconds, it pops on, lights up. And then you'll have a red for hot, I believe like a blue for middle, and green for low. And I think the range is, we're reading in here. Yeah, high is red. They're saying 2 hours of usage on that on the battery packs that I'll show you in a minute. Medium, blue, 2.5 hours. Low is green for 3 hours. There's your temperature spectrum of what they expect out of those. Let's get the light a little better here. Sorry, I'm in the workshop and I'm bouncing around. You can see the camera moving because I'm freezing my butt off. But yeah, there's the basic stuff on the instructions. Glove looks pretty clean. You got a nice gauntlet. It does have a cinch right here that can go over your jacket to keep the wind from going inside there, which is nice, and have that accessible. You have your cinch right here to keep it onto your hand a little bit better. The glove's very comfortable so far. Here's your little pack right here. Pouch. Let me screw the camera for a second. So zip that out, and here's your battery pouch inside here. You have your plug coming out, and your battery pouches can come completely out because you can take them out to charge them, obviously. So it does come with the battery pouches. And let's see if I have one of those in here. A little tether to charge them with. And it comes with 2 battery packs like this, and it comes with 2 charging cables like that. It does not come with this side, but it's a standard USB charger. You plug it into anything. This side goes in the battery pack, and voila, you charge away. This is what they were talking about with the 2-hour range, 2.5-hour range, or longer on the lowest setting. And this is all made in China because that's where everything's made. So it's a polymer battery pack, so a lipolymer. So when I charge these things up, it did take a while, but I wasn't using like a fast charger, just a standard charger off one of my phones. And it basically will blink until all of these are solid. So starting with 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 4th one will blink until everything's solid. That means the battery's filled. I believe you just turn them on like that, but we'll see. Maybe you don't. Yeah, there he goes. So you can see all the batteries, all the lights lit up. So that's a full battery charge. So I think you hold them down. There you go, to turn it off. So they recommend when you're not using this, always have it turned off because it will trickle down while it's on. It only has such long to go, regardless if you're heating or not. And then they do suggest in the instructions, if you're going to have these things sitting for any period of time, say your summer months, every couple of months to do these a full charge to kind of cycle them was the concept. Like I said, very comfortable glove, a little spongy. Some people won't like that. I'm not doing aggressive riding with these. When I'm riding aggressive, my fingers don't bug me because I'm sweating and heat myself up. But when I'm just kind of touring, commuting, highway exploring or highway, just riding in general, I'm not putting off a lot of heat. So the heated vest and these gloves should be a slight game changer. And like I said, one way to avoid this is getting your car and not ride in the winter, but I enjoy riding in the winter and all seasons just for the ability to get on the bike and enjoy kind of being outdoor and more submerged and everything. And obviously the cold is just kind of a little bit of a great equalizer. So I'm just trying to find ways to work around it. Once again, some people don't have problems with this, but I do have some nerve related issues that I'm suffering with from health issues I've had in the past year and a half or so. And like I said, I've overcome most of that, but some of the effects are still lingering, and they may linger, from here to the end of my days. So I'm just trying to work around it. So like I said, charging through here, heating up and around each finger, including the thumb, and like a oval pattern here. So we'll see how well that works. I'll give you some feedback. Fitment on this thing, I'm normally an XL on most gloves. These are larges. I read online that they ran large. I saw a woman in a video and she held these stuff. They looked monstrously huge. I don't know if she bought the wrong size. I don't remember what size she got, but they looked huge. So I went ahead and opted on the idea of, well, if they're larges and they're too tight, I'll send them back. These are larges, and I haven't ridden with them yet, so I haven't gripped. But I can tell you the webbing between each finger feels consistent. It doesn't feel like it's pinching. I have a tiny bit of room at the end of the glove, so I'd say a large fits a true XL in most, I guess higher end brands that I've worn in the past. Higher end being like Climb, or a Fox or a Troy Lee Designs, or No Fear Gear back in the day when that was popular. I mean, whatever, a fist glove, any of those gloves, or just work gloves at home. Like if I'm working in the house, some Home Depot gloves, things like that, I'm wearing an XL. So if that gives you an idea, XL typically have a pretty good size hand. I said I'm about 6 foot tall, so normally I have decent sized hands, and I'm wearing a large in this thing, and it's very comfortable. So I'll put one of these on if I can get it on while the camera's on. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold tight. I got a tripod, I just don't have it out. So glove flex, pretty good. Definitely bunched up a little bit. It's not going to have grip technology or slip tech technology in here. It's going to be pretty much like a snow glove, but it is designed for motorsports applications. That's why it has the carbon fiber tops. Once again, there's that gauntlet. You can cinch that up. Battery pack goes in there, plugs in, turns on, and voila. So like I said, just giving you guys a rundown on these things. These were Amazon purchases. I will let you know how they work at the end of this week. So I'll be using them a couple days this week, commuting, like I said, in pretty bad temperatures, in that 20-degree mark, plus the wind chill, and I'll let you know how they work. Hopefully that's a success, but for 40 bucks, I'm not expecting a lot. So maybe these things will blow my mind. And also longevity. I don't know how long they'll last, but if I can get, a season out of a $40 glove, I'd be pretty happy. Like I said, I'll probably ride for 2 months of the winter, and the third month when it gets too snowy, I'll put the bike away for about a month, unless I tow it down somewhere else and drive in better weather. But about 2 months of winter riding, December and January each year, and then February take the bike off the road when we get enough snow around here where it's dangerous. Right on, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Try and do what I can. Once again, that's an Amazon purchase. That's the brand. Sizes run a little bit large. Typically an XL, running a large on here. And it is legitimately 3M thin slit in here. And like I said, it's got a battery pack that comes with it, and a charging station. 2 battery packs. I'm just charging the other one right now, and 2 cords. Right on, guys. Stay tuned. Stay safe out there.